On our third wedding anniversary, I opened the door to the presidential suite and found my husband and his mistress tangled naked on our marital bed. Yet they turned it around on me, accusing me of invading their privacy, calling the police, suing me, and demanding $500,000 in damages, dragging me into a public scandal. I didn't cry. I didn't explain. I decisively released the affair footage at a press conference, and personally made sure they faced the court and the police. Today was supposed to be my third anniversary with Lucas. I cut my business trip short to surprise him. I stood at the presidential suite door with a gift bag in hand. The door opened. Lucas and Lena were wrapped around each other, naked. Rose petals were scattered across the bed. My gift bag dropped to the floor. Lena saw me. Her first reaction wasn't to hide. She hugged Lucas tighter and lifted her chin at me. Lucas froze for 2 seconds. Then he grabbed the blanket to cover Lena and yelled at me, "Sophia, you're invading my privacy." I lifted my phone and started recording. "What are you doing?" Lucas lunged for the phone. I took a step back, keeping them in frame. "Keep going," I said. "Say something that can be evidence." Lena hid behind Lucas, her voice sharp. "You've been traveling all the time, so this is what you get. Lucas needs a woman who can actually be with him." Lucas shielded her, eyes cold. "Delete the video. We can still talk this through." I pressed stop. "Talk about what?" I asked. "Talk about how you spent my money on hotel rooms?" Footsteps sounded outside. The hotel manager arrived with security, followed by 2 police officers. Someone had called the cops. Lucas instantly changed his expression. "Officer, this is my wife." He sighed. "A domestic dispute. She's a bit unstable." Lena started crying, wrapped in the blanket, shoulders trembling. She just barged in. I was so scared. The police looked at me. Lucas whispered, "You're making this worse. It won't help you." I watched the hand shielding Lena. His wedding ring was still on his finger. "Sophia." Lucas leaned closer, voice lower. "You have nothing. No proof. No leverage. Be smart. Go home now." I smiled. In front of him, I called my lawyer, Alan. I said clearly enough for everyone to hear, "Prepare the documents. This isn't a divorce case." I stared at Lucas's suddenly frozen face. "This is a business war. Starting now." The next morning, the court summons arrived at my home. Lucas sued me, unlawful entry and emotional distress. $500,000 in damages. The news exploded. Billionaire marriage scandal. Wife breaks into hotel. Husband sues for invasion of privacy. Lena sent me a private message. A photo. She was wearing my diamond necklace, sitting on Lucas's lap. Caption, "Sleeping with your husband and still getting paid? Thanks for the gift, sis." Lucas called. "Got the summons?" His tone was casual. "I told you not to stir trouble. Apologize now while you can. Drop the suit. Delete the video, and we can still part gracefully." I poured a cup of coffee and flipped through the lawsuit documents. "Sophia, are you listening?" Lucas's impatience was obvious. "Finally learning your lesson?" I said. "Press conference at 2 p.m. I'll publicly respond." He paused. "You'd better really be learning your lesson." The call ended. Online opinion began boiling over. Many called me crazy woman, controlling ex-wife, spoiled rich lady. I said nothing. I had my assistant release an open letter. Just one sentence: "I will hold a press conference regarding this matter, and formally apologize to Mr. Lucas Miller and Ms. Lena Smith, and provide compensation." The internet exploded. She gave up? Already caving? Still scared of her husband? The business world buzzed with gossip. Some said I acted too impulsively. Others claimed I finally backed down. Lena began aggressively updating her social media, flashing sports cars, jewelry, all tagged at high-end locations. Caption, "True winners never boast." Lucas sent one last message: "No tricks at the press conference. I want to see you bow." I turned off my phone. My lawyer, Alan, walked in. "Everything's ready." The press conference was packed. Cameras everywhere, live across the US. I wore a black suit. No makeup. The room fell silent as I stepped up to the podium. Lucas and Lena sat in the front row. Lena in a bright red dress, grinning. Lucas sat with arms crossed, a picture of confidence. I faced the microphone. "Thank you all for coming. I said calmly. Today, I will do only one thing. I turned toward Lucas and Lena. Then, I bent at the waist. A bow. Dead silence. I bowed again. A third time. Looking up, I saw Lena covering her mouth, laughing. Lucas's frown eased, clearly satisfied. I returned to the microphone. I sincerely apologize. I held up my notes. First, I should not have walked in on my husband's affair on our anniversary. Reporters were stunned. Second, I should not have gotten angry and recorded them naked together. Murmurs started in the crowd. Third, I should not have called the police and made this private matter public, wasting public resources. Lena laughed out loud. Don't forget to send the compensation to my account. Lucas tugged her but smiled. He looked at me, warning, enough. Stop here. I nodded at him. Then I raised my hand. Finally, I said. To make my apology more sincere, the giant screen behind me lit up. HD footage. The presidential suite bed. 2 naked bodies entwined. Faces clearly visible. Lena's screams. Lucas's angry shouts. My recording. Playing with sound. The audience gasped. The screen played everything. Over the past 6 months, Lucas had booked the same hotel room 12 times using my credit card. Lena was there each time. Footage cut. Lena wearing my jewelry at parties. Driving my limited edition sports car. Using my private club card. The final image, my bank statement. Lucas's transfers. Buying houses. Cars. Bags for Lena. The room was silent. Lena's face turned pale. Lucas stood. Chair toppling. I spoke into the microphone softly, regarding the $500,000 claim. I've changed my mind. I looked at them. I'll give you $100,000. Emotional damages. You're welcome. The live feed continued. All across America, viewers watched Lucas charge at the screen. Stopped by security. Lena tried to run up, twisting her ankle in heels and falling. Lucas swung at the nearest reporter. Close up, his face twisted in rage. The internet exploded instantly. Invading privacy? He cheated and sues his wife? That woman is vile. Driving the wife's car. Sleeping with the husband. Lucas Miller attacked a reporter. Record this. Legal experts started posting long analyses online. The evidence of infidelity was solid, and the previous invasion of privacy claims were baseless. The recording I made was considered lawful evidence. Social media went wild. Every top 10 trending topic was about us. Hashtag billionaire caught cheating. Hashtag Lucas attacks. Hashtag Lena the mistress. Lucas's company stock started plummeting. Lena was on the floor, crying. Her makeup smeared. Her red dress dirty. She yelled at me. You ruined me, you wicked woman. Lucas, restrained by security, was still shouting, turn off the live feed. Turn it off. I straightened my suit. All the reporters' microphones pointed at me. Mrs. Miller, will you drop the lawsuit? Are you planning to divorce? Will you pursue legal action for the violent incident just now? I looked straight into the cameras. I will officially file for divorce in court. I paused. And, personally, I will sue Mr. Lucas Miller for misappropriating marital assets, and Ms. Lena Smith for illegal possession of property. Additionally, I added, regarding Mr. Miller's violent behavior just now, I have already reported it to the police. At that moment, police officers walked into the conference room, heading straight for Lucas. The live feed captured it all. I stepped off the stage. Chaos erupted behind me. My lawyer, Alan, followed quietly. The stock dropped 15%. The board just called. I nodded. According to plan. I said, it's time to tighten the net. The next day, I went to the police station. The report, 2 limited edition supercars stolen, a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. Total value, $3 million. The title papers were clear, the cars were mine. The police checked the surveillance footage. They discovered that the cars had been recently used by a woman named Lena Smith. She's my husband's mistress. I said calmly. She used them without my permission. I consider this theft. The officers exchanged subtle looks. Just then, a video leaked online. Lena at last night's party. Holding a wineglass and bragging to friends, I slept with her husband and drove her car. Impressive, right? She's probably crying at home now. The video timestamp, early this morning. Location, inside the Ferrari. The police acted immediately. They found Lena outside a nightclub, taking photos of the car to show off, and took her directly into custody. Lucas stormed back home in a rage while I was packing my bags. You reported Lena? His eyes bloodshot. That's my car. I allowed her to drive it. The title says it's mine, I said, zipping up my suitcase. Your permission doesn't matter. We're married, he shouted. Post-marriage assets are joint property. Oh, I looked up. Remember our prenuptial agreement? Clause 17, certain assets, including vehicles and jewelry registered in my name, are my personal property. You may use them, but you cannot gift them to a third party. He froze. You set me up? I smiled. I'm just protecting myself. I dragged my suitcase toward the door. By the way, my lawyer will deliver new documents this afternoon about you misappropriating marital funds to buy property for Lena. He grabbed my arm. Sophia, don't push me. I shook off his hand. You started this, I said. Now it's my turn. Lucas's counterattack came quickly. 3 days later, his lawyer sent a divorce agreement. The terms were brutal and simple. I walk away with nothing. House, cars, bank accounts, all his. Reason, I maliciously damaged his reputation, causing significant financial loss. Lena was already out on bail. She sent me a message. Your husband said he's kicking you out. Poor thing. I arranged to meet Lucas at a cafe. He was 30 minutes late. When he finally sat down, his expression was arrogant. Sign it. He pushed the agreement toward me. Fighting won't help you. Your reputation's ruined. The company won't hire you. Take some money and leave quietly. I skimmed the agreement. Then I pulled out my tablet and opened a folder. This is a record of funds you transferred from my personal accounts over the past 3 years, I said steadily. Total, $2. 8 million. $1. 5 million went to purchase property for Lena. $700,000 on jewelry and luxury items. The rest? Unaccounted for. Lucas's face changed. These are failed investments you made under the company's name but using marital funds. I scrolled to the next file. A $4 million loss. You used my signature as collateral. He began sweating. Finally, I opened an audio recording. This is your conversation with Lena yesterday. The recording played. Lena, you must kick her out. I want that house. Lucas, don't worry. The house is in my name. Once she signed the agreement, she has to go. Lena, what about her jewelry? I want it all. Lucas, it's all yours. She deserves nothing. I pressed stop. According to our state law, I said, the party who maliciously transfers or hides marital property should receive a smaller share, or none, during divorce. Lucas sprang up. You recorded this. You recorded it again. Just a habit, I said, putting away the tablet. My lawyer has formally filed for divorce. I'm demanding the return of misappropriated funds and compensation for emotional damages. I've also applied to freeze all your accounts. His phone rang. He picked it up. Face instantly pale. What? Accounts frozen? On what grounds? He glared at me like he wanted to kill. Sophia, he ground out. I'll make you homeless. Just then, 2 police officers walked into the cafe and approached our table. Mr. Lucas Miller? They showed their badges. We received a report accusing you of unlawful entry into another's residence. You must come with us. Lucas was stunned. Unlawful entry? That's my house. The officers looked at me. I'm the owner, I said calmly. The property is my premarital asset. It's just registered in his name. We're divorcing, and he's living there without permission. I filed for a restraining order. Lucas was completely dumbfounded. The restraining order went into effect, but I had underestimated his shamelessness. He held the property title, which indeed listed only his name. Before marriage, I had trusted him and agreed to this arrangement. The officers studied the title, hesitating. This is your marital residence, one said. Ma'am, it's hard to force him out. We suggest resolving this through the courts. Lucas stood at the doorway, Lena holding his arm. Did you hear that? Lena said smugly. This is Lucas's house. You're the one who should leave. Neighbors watched from a distance, whispering and pointing. Lucas lowered his voice so only I could hear. I told you, you have nothing. The police eventually took me in, citing a possible violation of the restraining order, for questioning. I was released soon after. But the humiliation had already landed. Dragging my suitcase, I checked into a hotel. A video leaked online, Lena live streaming inside my former home. She wore my silk robe and used my teacup. "Love the new place," she said to the camera, smiling. Thanks to the former lady of the house for leaving such nice things. The business world began to watch. Neutral parties, seeing me kicked out, assumed I was finished. Lucas seized the opportunity. He called an internal company meeting, aligning with several minority shareholders to remove me from the board. "The word is," my lawyer Alan said over the phone, "next week at the shareholders meeting, he plans to file a motion. Things are looking bad for you, many think you've lost." I stood by the hotel's floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the city lights. I didn't sleep all night. At dawn, I called Alan. "Activate Plan B," I said. "It's time they see who the real owner is." The emergency shareholders meeting was held 3 days later. Lucas sat at the chairperson's seat, suit impeccable. Lena sat beside him in the guest seat, my seat. A few minor shareholders nodded along with him. In light of recent misconduct by Ms. Sophia Miller, which has seriously harmed the company's reputation, Lucas's voice rang through the room. "I propose to remove her from the board and relieve her of all company positions." Some shareholders frowned, but no one objected immediately. Lena smiled, acting as if she were already the lady of the house. "Additionally," Lucas continued, "I will nominate Ms. Lena Smith to the board. She has extensive social connections and can bring." The meeting room doors swung open. I walked in, black pantsuit, heels clicking against the floor, my steps crisp. The room went silent. Lucas's face darkened. "Who let you in?" "Security. I'm the company's largest shareholder." I walked to the podium, looking him in the eye. "Why shouldn't I be here? The largest shareholder is me." Lucas sneered. "I hold 35%. You only have 25%. I nodded. "That's just on paper." I gestured to Alan. He connected his laptop. The large screen lit up. A complex shareholding chart appeared. 3 years ago, during the company's early days, you ran out of funds. I pointed to the chart. Through an offshore company, I invested $8 million to acquire 40% of the original shares. Those shares were held by my mother, under an agreement, during our marriage. Voting rights belong to you. Once the marriage ends, voting rights and ownership revert automatically to me." Lucas turned pale. "The divorce proceedings are officially filed." I looked at him. "So legally, our marriage is in the process of dissolving. That agreement is now active." I zoomed in on the final document. "Currently, the shares I hold, directly and indirectly, total 51%. I turned to all shareholders. I am the majority shareholder. I have full control." Lena jumped to her feet. "Impossible. You're lying." "The documents are notarized and verified by lawyers." Alan stepped forward, distributing copies. Shareholders looked down, scanning the documents. Then one by one, turned their eyes to Lucas. His lips trembled. You set me up? Since 3 years ago?" "I'm just protecting my investment," I said, pulling out the chair at the chairperson's desk and looking at him. "Now, please step aside." He froze. 2 security guards walked in, this time, acting on my instructions. "Mr. Lucas Miller and this lady, please leave the meeting room," I said calmly. Lena screamed, "How dare you? I'm the future chairwoman's wife." Security held Lucas by the arms. He struggled but was dragged out. Lena was escorted out as well. The doors closed. I sat down, surveying the room. "Now," I said, "the meeting continues." Lucas's roars from outside the room could still be heard. I quickly passed several motions, removing Lucas from his CEO role, appointing new management, freezing all company accounts linked to him and Lena. After adjournment, I walked out of the room. Lucas waited in the corridor, eyes bloodshot. Lena cried beside him. "Sophia!" He charged at me. "Give me back my company. That's my life's work." Security stopped him. "Your life's work?" I paused. "Started with my money, survived on my resources, stabilized with my shares. Your life's work is cheating, transferring assets, and suing me for privacy invasion?" He had no reply. "By the way," I added, "the board just passed a motion to file a civil lawsuit for your misappropriation of company funds for Lena's personal expenses." Lena shrieked. He gave it to me willingly. Company funds are not his personal wallet. I looked at her. Every purchase you made is recorded. Jewelry, handbags, cars, wait for the court summons. Lucas completely lost it. He shoved security and lunged at me. The surveillance cameras captured it all, fists swinging, face twisted with rage. Security subdued him immediately. I was unharmed, having only stepped back. Call the police. I told my assistant. Assault. Evidence is clear. Officers arrived again. This time, they handcuffed Lucas. Lena tried to charge at me. Blocked. She yelled, "You'll pay. You poisonous woman." I looked at her. "You are under investigation for misappropriating another's property," I said calmly. "Now you also face charges for defamation. My lawyer will contact you." She froze. Before being taken away, Lucas looked back at me. His gaze contained both hatred and a newfound fear. I stepped close, whispering so only he could hear, "Remember our wedding day? You promised to give me everything." I smiled. "Now, I'm taking it all back, including your life." His pupils constricted. I turned and left. Behind me, Lena's wails of despair echoed. The divorce trial commenced. Lucas tried to fight back, but his evidence was full of holes. My chain of evidence was complete: infidelity, asset transfers, violent behavior. The judge ruled on the spot, divorce granted. Lucas, as the at-fault party, walked away with nothing. He must return all misappropriated marital assets and pay $1 million in emotional damages. Gifts to Lena were invalidated. Lena must return all property, house, cars, jewelry. Lucas broke down in court. "No! This isn't possible. That's my money, my company." The judge struck the gavel. Judgment upheld. Lena screamed from the gallery, "I'm not giving it back. It's mine." The judge gave her a look. Failure to comply may result in contempt of court charges. Both were escorted out by court officers. Outside, the crowd of reporters pressed in, cameras aimed at Lucas's pale face. "Mr. Miller, do you regret it? Anything you want to say to your ex-wife?" Lucas lowered his head. Silent. Lena tried to shove past the cameras but was surrounded by journalists. When I stepped out, the crowd went quiet for a moment. "Mrs. Miller, how are you feeling right now?" I glanced at the encircled Lucas. "The law has delivered justice," I said. "That's all." I got into the car. Alan handed me a document. All his accounts and properties have been frozen. As for Lena, court enforcement orders have already been issued. I nodded. My phone vibrated. A text from an unknown number. "Sophia, I know I was wrong. Can we talk? Please." "Lucas," I deleted it. Outside the car window, Lucas was being jostled by reporters. Humiliated, he glanced at my car once. In his eyes, utter emptiness. Lucas started playing the victim. He did an interview with a small media outlet, crying about being set up, losing everything, and how his ex-wife was cruel. On camera, he looked haggard and thin, wearing a worn-out suit. "I was foolish for a moment," he said, red-eyed. "I loved her, truly. Now I have nothing. I just hope she can forgive me." Some uninformed netizens began to waver. "Kind of pitiful? Cheating was wrong, but leaving her with nothing seems too harsh." They were married after all. Lena jumped in online with a long post. "I truly love Lucas. Sophia is too domineering. She forced him into cheating. She planned all along to take over the company." Public opinion wavered slightly. Lucas saw hope. He went to the building of my new company, holding a sign, "Sophia, I was wrong. Please, one more chance." Passers-by stopped to take photos. My assistant asked if I wanted to call security. I walked to the window and looked down at the tiny figure. Then I went downstairs. Lucas's eyes lit up when he saw me. He lunged to grab my hand. I sidestepped. "Sophia, give me a chance," his voice cracked. "I don't want anything else. I just want to come back to you." Passers-by were filming. I spoke, voice clear and calm. "You misappropriated $2.8 million of my money to buy a house and cars for your mistress. You sued me for invasion of privacy, demanding $500,000. You kicked me out of my own home and let your mistress move in. You tried to take my company. In court, you never apologized once." With each sentence, his face grew paler. "And now, you have nothing. Thinking of me? I asked. Lucas. Your love was cheap. The crowd booed. Lucas froze. I turned and walked back into the building. He shouted after me, I really know I was wrong. Please. One more chance. I didn't look back. The next day, a full video of the encounter leaked online. Public opinion swung completely in my favor. Serves him right. What nerve! Support Sophia. Lucas's victim act failed. He had no way out. I moved into my new penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Panoramic city view. The moving crew was organizing my things when the doorbell rang. It was Daniel Moore, my college classmate, now an architect. He happened to be designing the office building for my new company project. Heard you moved. Brought a bottle to celebrate. He smiled, gentle and composed. We stood by the windows, drinking. The city sprawled beneath us. You look well, Daniel said. I do. I nodded. The doorbell rang again, urgently. I opened it. Lucas stood there, scruffy, clothes wrinkled. Sophia, we need to talk. He froze when he saw Daniel behind me. You have company? His expression twisted. Already moved on? Daniel stepped forward, standing calmly by my side. Mr. Miller, he said evenly. Sophia isn't available right now. What are you? Lucas tried to push past. I blocked him. We're divorced. I said. Legally. Emotionally, we have nothing. Leave. I won't. He shouted. I can't watch you with someone else. You're my wife. Ex-wife. I corrected. He looked into my eyes and finally understood. I truly didn't care anymore. That emptiness appeared again. You really don't love me anymore? His voice trembled. I did. I said honestly. But not now. I don't even hate you. You're just a passerby. He staggered back. Daniel gently steadied my shoulder. A stable, supportive gesture. Lucas saw that hand and completely broke down. He sank to the ground, covering his face, sobbing. I didn't look back. I closed the door. Outside, the cries faded. Daniel let go. Sorry, that was forward of me. Thank you, I said. 2 months later, I got a message from an old neighbor. She said Lucas and Lena were still living in that house, which had been seized by the court and was about to be auctioned. They were in debt. Utilities were cut. Lena began blaming Lucas. Lucas cursed her as a jinx. They fought constantly, sometimes physically. The neighbor sent a secretly recorded video in the middle of the night. They were struggling on the front porch. Lena scratched Lucas's face. Lucas pushed her down. I've called the police multiple times, the neighbor said. They mediate, but the fights continue. I closed the video. I felt nothing. Alan told me Lena was being sued by several luxury stores for returning charged goods. Lucas was pursued by former business partners for debts. They were dragging each other down. Early one morning, a news alert popped up on my phone. Intense conflict at apartment building last night. A man and a woman fell to their deaths. I clicked it. Location, my old home. The photo was blurred, but the description was clear. The couple had argued on the balcony and fell accidentally. Police preliminarily ruled out homicide. Names confirmed: Lucas Miller, Lena Smith. Comments were full of sighs and judgment. So much for cheating. Neither of them were good people. Served them right. I turned off my phone. My assistant called. Boss, you saw the news. Do you want us to handle anything? I thought for a moment. Contact the funeral home, I said. Arrange the simplest service in my name. I'll cover the cost. Okay. The assistant hesitated. Do you want to see them? No, I said. I hung up and walked to the window. My coffee had gone cold. I poured it out and made a fresh cup. 1 year later, my company rang the opening bell on NASDAQ. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, overlooking New York. The city lights glittered like stars. Behind me, the celebration party buzzed. Investors, partners, employees, all smiling. Daniel walked over, handing me a glass of champagne. Congratulations, he said, eyes shining. Thank you, I replied, clinking my glass with his. Someone brought up the past. Sophia, you really won. The outcome for your ex and his mistress. Did you feel even a little pity? I looked out the window. I gave them chances, I said slowly. When he first cheated, I could have made a scene. but I chose to talk. When he sued me, I could have backed down, but I fought back. When he had nothing, I could have humiliated him, but I ignored it. The path they took was their choice. I sipped champagne. I chose my own. The celebration reached its peak. The bell rang. I stepped onto the stage, gripping the bell. Flashes of cameras like rain. I lifted my head. No memories. No pain. No hate. Only forward. The hammer fell. The bell rang, clear and resonant, filling the hall. I had won back my dignity, my career, my life. And it all happened because I never allowed myself to truly lose.